I hope you guys are strapping in for today's show because it is going to be a fast ride. This next lady, I was going to say next contestant, this next guest, oh my gosh, does she have energy?
Yes.
Annie Wood.
She.
Yeah.
Our first female interview.
Yeah. We need more, but she set the bar high.
Yes, she has.
All the stuff she's done. She's a game show host, only the third ever for a female in the country. She's a stand-up comedian, an actress, been in film and TV. Good Luck Chuck, been in Becker.
ER, NYPD Blue.
Yeah.
She's an artist as well.
Great artist.
Author.
Yeah, she writes books. I mean, how do you find time to do all this stuff?
I don't know. You're not Annie Wood. So
that's right. Thank goodness there's only one because we can't live up to that billing. But she is a great personality. She's going to be a lot of fun on our show. So stick around. Annie Wood coming up on My Big Break almost right after this. We are on with Annie Wood, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you because you've done so many things we're going to touch on. I figure we'll kind of start on the early days, you know, just every year you grew up. We're going to go over it all. But we'll start some of the early days and then the things that, you know, we know you for and the Big Break almost and just the whole roller coaster ride of your career so far. So I hope you've got the time.
I am at your disposal.
Yes.
Bring it.
That's right. Bring it. Now, so it's interesting because you can't really say, okay, now I moved to Hollywood to become big. You actually grew up in Hollywood. You're the only person I think that grew up in Hollywood that stayed.
I'm the one. I am the one.
I'm so jealous.
I mean, I was born in Hollywood. I was raised in the Valley. I don't know if you guys are familiar with out here. Are you out here? Where are you?
We're actually in the Mecca of the Midwest, Oklahoma.
the okay, the big okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I was born in Hollywood, raised in the Valley, which is like a suburb part of Los Angeles. I live in Hollywood now, so back full circle. Actually live just minutes from where I was born, so
how neat.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So and I have nothing to compare it with, obviously, since I grew up here. For me, it's just normal. But when people come here, normal is not one of the words they use to describe Hollywood.
That is true. So what got you started in I hesitate to say acting because, you know, we've seen clips and things that you've done and, you know, from game show host to comedy to acting to, you know, producing, direct, just entertaining, I guess is a better way to put it. What got you started as an entertainer?
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I don't have a direct answer just because I say I came in this way, meaning ever since I can remember, it's all I've ever wanted to do. So I was a tiny wee thing. And I have a family friend who remembers that I put my hand over Carol Burnett's face on television when I was 3 years old. And I said, I want to be in the TV.
That's great.
I think that I thought I was going to actually go inside that box of a TV and be inside the TV. I don't know what I was thinking.
I get it.
It was hard to get in that way.
Like a poltergeist thing, you know? I mean, Carol Ann.
You totally got that from me.
Yeah,
that's
I can
right.
really see that.
Really. So it's just been something that's always been in me. My parents were not in the business. My mom was this kooky, hilarious, free-spirited Israeli mother, and my dad is American, but a lawyer, or he was a lawyer, and then he became a playwright. He actually always was a writer, but he didn't believe in himself, and when I was a teenager, I encouraged him to take an early retirement from law, which he hated doing, and to follow his dream, which was to write full-time, and he, you know, he's a smart man, so he listened to his 15-year-old daughter at the time, and exactly that, and so yeah.
That's
a little in there.
That's unreal. So what is, I mean, gosh, I mean, what kind of law did he practice?
Workman's comp. For the Department of Water and Power, workman's comp lawyer. For many years, he did something, you know, people do this a lot. Maybe they're doing it less now where they just work for many years doing something they hate. That happens, you know.
So end up in one of your dad's plays?
What's that?
Were you ever in one of your dad's plays?
Oh, you know what? No, but I did do some of his readings, and I would help him out with things. And I brought him over to a theater company that I was involved in as an actress and a writer. And so, in a way, we kind of worked together because I was in some of his readings. But we did write a play together via email. He lives not far from me, and he's still around. He's 95.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's gonna break the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he still write?
He has trouble seeing, so unfortunately no. But he did for up until his 80s, yes. But he's well. Knock on me. It's just the sight thing, which is kind of important when you.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. But for a while we were writing a play together via email. So I would write a scene and then I would email him and then he'd take it from there and then email me and I'd take it from there. It was a pretty cool way to write with someone.
Oh yeah.
That is neat.
Yeah.
That's exciting. So did you start? I know you left school at 16 to pursue this dream. How scary was that, or was it exciting and you just felt confident, or what was it like doing that? Because that's a big step.
Yeah, I think that I was lucky. And I think it has something to do with my Israeli mama, who's very strong spirited. I was very confident and very sure of myself, and knew what I wanted. So when I proposed to my parents that I take the GED, take the test, and become emancipated, still, not drop out, take the GED, get emancipated, so I can go on auditions by myself, so I could, not have to worry about having a set teacher and things like this. I wrote a whole monologue and I pitched them at the kitchen table, and I always will love learning, but I want to learn on my terms, and I want to learn what interests me, and I know what I'm going to do and what I'm going to be, and I just knew what was right for me, and they accepted that, and luckily for me, they supported my decision. Jason Bateman and Justine Bateman, they were kids of Kent Bateman. Kent was my mentor and teacher, and Theater 3 was something that he started with his kids at the time. They were kids, and so was I, a kid. We were all kids. And I joined the theater, but everyone else was adults except for me. So it was that was kind of like my college.
That's cool.
How fun was it working with the Batemans?
Jason was great. I had a major crush on him because we're the same age, and I had the same. I just had a major crush on him because I used to watch Silver Spoons and all those.
Yeah.
And we did a play together. But that was as far as that got, unfortunately.
Aww.
Yes.
He didn't catch your drift at all, huh?
Yeah.
You bat your eyes and he just.
I think he liked like more mature ladies. That's what I remember.
Annie Bateman, right?
Yeah, it did not happen, but that's okay. It all worked out. But and Justine, I run into sometimes at the Writers Guild. Out here, and Kent I remained friends with for many years actually. He's still a friend. He lives elsewhere, but yeah, he was one of my first mentors in the acting world.
How exciting!
Man, it's so young.
That really
You're
is.
so young. Because I mean, if I was to ask my mom to emancipate me at 16, she'd be like, you ain't going nowhere. Shackle and chains.
I
was looking to get a driver's license at 16.
And the thing is, I'm very close to my mom passed away, but grew up very close to both of them, and I still am to my dad, and so it was kind of like, it wasn't like I was trying to get away from them. I had a good childhood. And I guess that's why they just kind of trusted that I was going to be responsible, and I don't know, they just trusted me because maybe my passion was undeniable. That's what I think. You could not
contain it.
Just heard me then. I mean, imagine this energy tenfold. It's a lot.
Oh, that's fun. I guarantee you've got to be the most popular person at parties. They're like, all right, you got to talk to Annie. If you're bored or if you're feeling down, go talk to her, and then come back and see me. That's great. So going back on the early days when you were breaking into show business, what was it? What were you auditioning for? What kind of roles were you trying for? Was it TV, movie, or were you going stand-up or theater? What were you doing?
Well, as a teenager, I really wanted, television is my first love. I absolutely love television. And now, of course, nowadays it's incredible. Back in the day, they used to laugh at actors that wanted to be on TV instead of features because that was weird because it was just not, it just didn't work that way. It was like, TV, really? But I love TV. That's what I wanted. You know, I auditioned a lot as a kid. I did not book much when I was really young. At 19, I booked something. I worked with Kevin Spacey in Fall from Grace. It was a movie of the week. That's what we called them back then, movie of the weeks, MOWs.
Yeah, for those.
Yeah. And so yeah, I had agents, I had auditions, I modeled briefly in my late teens because that was just another thing to do to get seen.
Yes.
And then so I was doing all of that, but I would say the biggest thing that obviously happened was when I got the game show, when I became the host of Buzz, that I also co-produced and helped develop.
Yeah,
That's cool.
So, in fact, I was watching an older clip of that, which was fun.
There's only older clips because it was the 90s. Yay!
There's no HGTV back in the day, so we're the exact same age, so I can relate. There's no HGTV then. How do you go from, all right, I want to host, I want to produce, I want to help, put this package together. Hey, Universal Studios, hey, how would you like to, support this? How do you go about doing something like that?
Here's how this went down for me. So I worked on remember the MTV show Singled Out?
Oh, God.
Yes.
So I was a contestant coordinator on that show, which meant I helped find the people to be on the show, which was a really fun gig. Because I worked on that show, I had developed a list of so many names of contestants, right? Asked if I'd come in and interview to be a contestant coordinator because I had access to so many people in that age range, in our 20s, right? So I came in to interview, and you might know him from People's Court and many other things.
Yes.
He's a producer of People's Court and all. And he asked me to take a look at a video of a run-through that they did of a show they're developing, and he wanted my opinion. So I'm in my 20s, right? And I had my hat on backwards with a rock star t-shirt. I was all grunge and like whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like this big shot mucky muck producer. And he said, "What do you think?" So I watched it and I told him exactly what I thought. And he was impressed because I didn't hold back. I gave him super notes. Like I said, "Listen, I understand what this could be, but it's not there yet. And here's why." And I gave him my opinions and he liked them. And he said, "You know what? I want you to stay on and help me develop it." And he gave me a job as a producer.
Wow.
That's
In
big
your
time.
60s, yeah.
Now the hosting thing, now remember, I'm an actress, so I've always been an actress. I told him I had a B movie. I was doing Cell Block Sisters, Banished Behind Bars. Look it up on Netflix. It's Quentin Tarantino's favorite women behind bars B movie. So there we go.
God.
Gosh, I gotta watch that one then.
Yes.
Anyway,
So you've been to prison, okay?
we shot it in the real prison out here in Lincoln Heights. Oh my God, that was creepy. Just to be in the energy of, there weren't people there. It was an old prison. There weren't actual prisoners there, but it's still really creepy. Really creepy.
You're bringing you to work.
I know, right?
Anyhow, so I told Stu, I have to do this movie and blah, blah. And he's like, "Yeah, okay, do your movie and then come back and work here." So I'm working in the office. I do my movie. It's a lot of fun. I come back. I'm working in the office. I'm helping develop the show. And we'd have comedians would come in and do run-throughs of the show. Okay? And I would find the contestants. Now, the comedians a lot of them were great and all that, but something that stand-ups do is they do their set, right? And I knew this show needed more of a back and forth with the contestants. I knew to make the show work, it needed to not be about the host. It needed to be about the contestants. And there had to be more, and I come from improv, so there had to be more of that improv back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I told Stu that I know what the problem is with the show. I finally figured it out, and what he needs is me to host it. I had a lot of chutzpah. And Stu said, "Okay, you'll get your chance." And one day, one of the comedians, and by the way, they were always men, never, ever a woman. And one day, one of the guys, and I'll tell you why in a second. One of the guys got sick. He couldn't come to the run-through, so I ended up doing the run-through. We taped that run-through. Stu had somebody put graphics on that run through, like, cartoons and things, way before that was being done. So this is like, this is right before Blind Date. The show Blind Date did that a lot. I think that's what that was called. Yeah. Yep. And anyway, we took this great run through with me doing the hosting and the graphics, and I knew all the contestants, and we had a lot of fun. And that's what Stu and I pitched around town, that tape, as me as the host. That's what they're seeing, me as the host. So Stu, and we're still friends, yay Stu, he believed in me. He felt like the reason why this was working was because I was hosting. And so I had him as a champion. And, there were a lot of people that didn't really want a woman to host because women didn't test well as a host in game shows, because men and women at the time didn't like to take instructions from a woman. Didn't want to hear a woman didn't want to hear a woman tell rules.
Have been married before.
No.
Didn't like it. So it wasn't just men saying, I don't want to hear a woman. It was also women. It was not great. Not a great thing in history. Yeah, it is. So that's why I am the third female solo dating game show hostess in the history of television, because of that very thing.
That's incredible.
You're paving the way for others.
Trailblazer. Yes. Now you see women hosting, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I'll owe it to you and the other two girls.
and Elaine Joyce, the other two.
Wow, there you go. So you talked about stand-up comedians, and I found this trivia bit fascinating. I'm sure you've had to talk about this more than you care to, but most people have probably heard of a guy named Jerry Seinfeld. How in the world? Yeah. So my big break, did it turn into my big break almost because of that? Tell us about the story, if you don't mind, for those that don't know it. This is incredible.
So I was always told, you should do stand-up. You should do stand-up, blah, blah, blah. Even when I was the host, I would have people, we would go and do PR, and they would tell my agent, have Annie prepare a 5 or 10 minute set. And I would be like, set of what? Because I wasn't a stand-up. I never was. But I finally decided, I'm going to try this, and I know how hard it is. I can tell, and I've known stand-ups in my life, and so I know this is not an easy thing. But I said I'm gonna work on it and try to do something. So the first time I'm gonna get up, I have a 5 minute set. I work with, I take a class, I do a whole thing with a group of people. I'm gonna go up for the first time at the Improv in Hollywood and do my 5 minutes. And I'm about to go on, and surprise guest Jerry Seinfeld shows up.
Oh my goodness.
Right for me. He goes on, he does 45 minutes of something he's testing out, and of course he kills. He's Jerry freaking Seinfeld. And then I go up with my tiny 5 minutes, and I feel very small and weird, and yeah, that was nerve-wracking. That was nerve-wracking. But I like that he opened for me.
There you go. I love that. He opened for it. Did you even have a chance to talk to him?
We were waiting in the wings together, but it wasn't much of a talk. It was more like, hey, so I said, you're gonna go on now? And he said, yeah, 45 minutes. I'm gonna try some stuff out. I'm like, great. There was another time actually before that, when I had my show. We used to go to Jerry's Deli with the crew, and we would just have drinks afterwards, and we had a table. And one time Jerry Seinfeld showed up, I kid you not, and got my table, of course, because he's a big name. But we had that moment for the first time was at Jerry's Deli, and we're both standing there, and they were like, oh, Annie, yeah, okay, we'll get you another table. And they walked Jerry over to the table. So I have some karmic weirdness with him. He wouldn't even remember me if he saw me. This is just my karmic weirdness.
He needs to stay out of California. That's what
What's the deal with Jerry?
But Jerry Seinfeld, always in front of me. Come on.
This would be perfect. I wish they had Punk still, because I would want them to punk you the next time you're like looking for a car and you're like, I'll take it, and all of a sudden Jerry just drives off in it.
That's good stuff. Good stuff right
That is good stuff.
Yeah, well, again, Jerry should know karma is a B because it's on your show.
Yes, I know.
Nice. Is that a segue? Good job.
Yes, I paid attention.
Yeah. So bitch, a biatch, because
Okay.
yeah, because Amazon, when I put it on up on Amazon, they had me change it to biatch. So karma's a biatch.
Okay, because I saw one. It said karma is a B symbol.
And the one that's up now, the two that you can see on Amazon Prime, it's free if you have Prime, is Karma's a Biatch and Instant Karma, which is the follow-up. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And for those who don't know, it's about...
Seen a few. How fun are those to make?
I made 16 episodes of Karma's a Biatch, and I think there's 5 or 6 of Instant Karma, and it's all about karma. I play karma, coming down to earth and making people take responsibility for their actions.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I like that idea.
It's fun, and they're easy shorts too. You know, it's not real long, but it's entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did those take a long time to make?
You know, I think it was 2010 when I first made. It's listed on IMDb as a short film. I think we were trying an experiment, and then a few years later we put up a couple more, and then so it's been a long going process to shoot them. No, I think it was a couple of weekends in Venice Beach. We totally guerrillaed everything. Yeah. Unless it was inside the
I like that. Is that like Louis?
Yeah.
So,
wow.
So going back a little bit as well, because I don't remember which year, but just to get the chance to say, yes, I was on the Tonight Show, and you know, I've seen pictures of you on the Tonight Show. What was that experience like, and was that because of your game show hosting that you won from Buzz, or what was it?
It was because of Buzz, because when the show became national, it nationally syndicated. It was absolutely everywhere. So I went on a whirlwind kind of tour. I hired my best friend at the time, Jules. He was my personal assistant, and we traveled the country, and we even went to France to sell the show. So they sent us everywhere, and we did like radio shows and TV shows, and it was like a whirlwind thing. And I was with my best friend, and we were having the time of our lives. It was such a time. I'm telling you, it's as fun as you imagine that it was. It really was that fun. Yeah. And so Tonight Show came from that time. So it was surreal and trippy and cool. And I had my best friends. I always was surrounded with good friends, which is very important when a lot of this stuff starts happening and you become successful. It's very good to surround yourself with people you love and trust and all that, because I always felt like safe in that cocoon. So that's just good advice. If anybody out there listening, you have any kind of major success, keep those who know and love you close. And so I did that, and one of my best friends, McCool, he's still a best friend. He was with me there. We were all in the dressing room at Jay Leno, and it was just like, this is really happening. This is all very exciting. What can I say? Jeff Goldblum was on with me. And then who else was on with me? This guy, he's a basketball player. I'm not a sports person, so I don't know, but he's known for being short. He's really short.
Bugsy Bogues? Spud Webb, Bugsy Bogues?
Those names sound like both very interesting names. And I thought it was an interesting name. It's one of those guys, I think.
Sure. He'll do.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. I'm 5'10" and a half. If I ever played in the NBA, which I have no skill, I would be the 10th shortest guy in history of the NBA. That's how tall these guys are.
I feel like you should go for that, because that's a fun distance to have.
Thank you. Well, that's a nice round number. It's a fun stat. I'm leaving now. I'm going to go practice.
Yeah, no, I'm going to call you when he gets injured. You need to stick with podcasting.
That's right. So when you're in the green room, are you hanging out with Jeff Goldblum and the basketball player, or do you just have your own little section just to sing?
But Jeff came over to kiss my hand. So that was adorable. So he came over to say hello. But no, we all have our own space. And then Jay comes back and kind of, you just talk about, you don't, there's nothing verbatim. There's no script. You just kind of go over like, hi, you meet each other before you're going to go on and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. Kind of like this.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's great. I mean, our script is just a list of things that you've done, and there's a lot. Like Chelsea Handler. You're on Chelsea Handler, and I think that's really cool.
That was actually not her talk show. That was, I don't know if you remember, but she had a sketch. She had a comedy show.
Mhm.
Was it on Comedy Central?
On Comedy Central, yes, it was. I believe so.
So that's what she had before she had her talk show. And so we did, there was a funny bit of women in a book club. And I remember I was one of the women in the book club, and we're all talking about, I think, bridges in Madison County.
Oh, God.
And to us, and then she came in with a boxed wine, I remember, and just started drinking the boxed wine, and I don't remember what else happened, but yes. And actually, the second time I did stand-up was with Pretty Funny Women, this group, and she was part of that. So this is before she really
took off.
Really big, but she was always working. Yeah.
How fun.
I bet she was just an awesome person to just hang around.
Oh, I bet.
As far as just bouncing ideas off of each other.
And you've done so many shows. I mean, you're basically, in my opinion, a regular on Becker. I think that's really cool because I was always a Ted Danson fan.
I had Ted Danson, and he's as great as you think. He's pretty cool. I had a reoccurring role on Becker. I played Teresa Campbell, and this woman from the Bronx who had kids from different guys, and she was together. And she was really trying her best to keep it together and raise the kids, make everything right. She'd go to Dr. Becker, and he, Dr. Becker, the character, was known as kind of being surly and a rough kind of guy. But I brought out his sweetness, so like a sweet moment on the side of that character of Dr. Becker. So that was used, I think, in the clips for a long time to show that he did have a heart.
It's so funny you mentioned it. I used to watch Becker, and now it's starting to bring back a little bit in my mind thinking, I think I remember that clip.
Yeah,
I remember how harsh he was.
I had super short, like white blonde hair, like the Buzz days.
Right. Yeah, I remember the hair from that. And then you're on Good Luck Chuck.
Yes, that was did you see the movie? Because it was a memorable role.
Yes, I saw the movie. I know, what's the comedian's name now? Dane
Cook.
Thank you. Yes, I saw Good Luck Chuck. Yes, I did see that.
I didn't see that one.
I saw it. I could have sworn you saw it with me. If not, I know I saw it. You may have been asleep, but
I might have.
But I saw it. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you this. There was something very memorable about my character. She and I ended up marrying his, spoiler alert, whatever. It's the movie. If you haven't seen the movie, just close your everything. So you can watch it on Netflix. It's streaming on Netflix and Amazon, I think, one or the other or both. But anyway, my character ends up marrying Dane Cook's best friend. This character. Okay, do you remember the character? I can tell you the thing that's very memorable, but it'll ruin it for.
Oh gosh! Okay,
know, right?
We're gonna go back and watch it tonight, and then I'm going to send you a text.
My character's name is Laura, Lara, and I'm one of the characters that has like a fling with Dane Cook's character, but there was something physically about me that was strange. You'll see.
Because a lot of girls had a fling with Dane Cook in that show.
Yeah,
Right?
but there was a special little something in
I'm
my
intrigued.
character.
Oh my gosh! Now I can't wait. What a great cliffhanger! Yeah.
People don't get DVDs anymore, but if you did have a DVD, there's a special 10-minute thing they made about my character that I'm on.
Really?
Because of what they did with technology at the time, 2008, I guess, for this effect about my character, and that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Great. We're going to watch it. That's so cool,
That's
though.
Tonight.
Yeah, tonight. That's what we're doing. How fun is that, though? That is really cool.
That is really neat.
And then, of course, you did a serious show like ER and NYPD. I mean, that's a wide range.
Yeah, those were a lot of fun. NYPD Blue was so much fun because there are these places that really do look like the places that they're supposed to be, like New York Street. And so you have the smoke or fog coming up from the sewers, like all that stuff. And we were wearing like heavy coats, but it kind of worked because it was cold in Los Angeles and we were outside and everything looked like I could actually be in New York. And when it feels so real like that, I don't know, it's a lot of fun. You kind of feel like you're time traveling or space traveling or something traveling.
That's
a lot of
me. I didn't even think that.
Yeah, it really helps put you, in the mindset.
It's a perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
of how it
true.
is.
So by being on all these different shows, I know it required a lot of auditions. Did you have any that you auditioned for either TV or movie that was just so close, you're like, okay, that was mine, and Jerry Seinfeld stole it?
Yes, clearly. It was called, I don't know if you remember, it was called Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's great. That is perfect.
I was really fed into it.
Yeah, I was. I'm like, serious? Oh, she got us.
There was a show, I don't know if you remember it. It was on, remember UPN? That was a network.
UPN network.
So there was a show called The Grown-Ups, or it was called Grown-Ups, and I tested for this sitcom series regular, and so close, so many auditions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so many. And then when you test, if you don't know, when you test, the whole network's there, you're on stage, and the network is there. That's a lot of people. We're talking a lot of people. You basically have an audience, and you're going to audition with the people who are already in it, like usually names, to see like what they call chemistry. And even if it's not a love scene, just chemistry, friendship, just chemistry, like with another person. And how you look together, height, all sorts of things. And, it's really intense, and it's a lot of pressure to go on these network auditions. Maybe if you do many of them in your career, it gets less nerve-wracking. But I only had a few of those in my life. And yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking. And I was sitting there ready to go in, and I'm looking around, and there's no other women there. So there's no other women like for my role. Okay, so I'm just sitting there going, and they don't have anyone else coming in. This is so strange. Now they put you like apart, like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes apart, half an hour apart. But I'm like looking at the sign in, no women. I'm like, oh my God, is this just like what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're just doing this, but I already have the part.
Like a
I was like, it starts with an F. It's not that formality. Is this like, I was thinking, oh my God, this must really be mine. And I was just really feeling good until Punky Brewster walks in.
Oh, no way.
Filet Moon Fry. Who's, I don't know her. I hear she's a lovely, nice. I have friends who are friends with her, but I don't know her. She walks in, and I'm like, she's a name. She was Punky Brewster, and so at that point, part of me, I think, kind of like felt like, oh no, it's gonna go to the name, and it did.
Oh God.
No, that would really stink.
It's, thank you for the awe and all that, because it is hard, and you feel terrible when you don't get something, especially when you're so close. But at the end of the day, we're all just going out and trying to get what we can and do what we can, and it all works out. And I'm very happy with what I did end up getting and doing. So, I've gotten things, and there'd be other actresses that were like, oh, that Annie Wood. So it's kind of like that,
That's true.
That makes sense. I bet somewhere Jerry Seinfeld's going, every place I go, Annie meets me there.
He's really good.
Certain of it.
That's so funny.
Wait, he's texting me. Hang on. Wait, no. Why are you calling? I told you to just text. Calls anymore, Jerry. Just text. All right.
You can tell she does improv.
I know, right? That's great.
Oh,
That's great.
Okay. Hold that thought for our next segment in a second. We have one question we're going to ask you on that one.
Oh God.
So what are you working now? We actually look at your Etsy site. You're an incredible artist, by the way.
Yeah.
So amazing. What all are you doing today that you're excited about that we can tell people?
Oh, well, that's so sweet. First of all, thank you very much for that. I am really excited about. I've been drawing a lot, drawing and sketching and doing these comics. Here, this is a book I put together. Deep Thoughts by Gorgeous Weirdos.
No way! Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy was one of my favorite things of all time.
It.
And this is by Gorgeous Weirdos. Conversations overheard and overimagined. So I drew and wrote these things. She got her panties in a twist. She survived.
Love it.
Now that's And I just observe people, and I draw them as I see them, and then I create a comic. So this was at a restaurant in Italy. Sometimes they're they're kind of sad or deep. This is nuns in Italy.
Your deep thoughts.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a book that I'm putting together that I will eventually sell in my Etsy. Right now, I sell it at my art shows, a signed copy of all that. But I am going to put something up and maybe have it available on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that's
How
great. This is a really
fascinating.
cool book. That's a really neat idea.
And we're definitely going to put your Etsy link up because we
Yes.
were looking through it, and those drawings are so neat because it's not just a typical, oh, I saw what a person looked like, so I stayed in the lines. It's very creative.
Thank you. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, Picasso.
I like wild lines and color, and I kind of just go with a feeling as opposed to like an exact replica or something like that. That's not my bag. It's amazing people who can do that. But I'm more just kind of this by
It's
feel.
your art the way it is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No boundaries.
There you go. Exactly. And here's something I'm excited about. I just created these enamel pins. I don't know if you can see it well.
Slips, yeah.
Say fearless, kindness,
Yes.
kindness.
So-
Oh, now I can see it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Speak Kindness.
Oh, I like that.
A drawing I did, and I signed the back, and I have a limited edition that I am selling on my Etsy site. So if you go to my Etsy site, you will see not many of these because I didn't make that many. They're limited edition.
Okay.
We'll definitely post that.
I might have to be a buyer there.
Yeah, that's right. We may have to wear that pin, yeah.
$15, great gifts. They come in a cute little blue velvet bag.
Yeah,
Ship it out.
in my stocking
Yeah.
stuffer.
You got it. The Annie Wood autograph's worth more than that, so there you go. It's like getting the lips for free.
I ship it out in time for Christmas.
Yes!
Yay, Mama!
And the puppy too, right? Do we get the puppy?
Chauncey. Well, good. Well, I have one more last question, and when you brought the phone up, it reminded me that I needed to ask. This is a fun thing that we like to do, to figure out, all right, I like to call it name drop. Who is the most famous person that is in your contacts on your telephone?
Oh my God. Can I look? Can I cheat?
You can look, you can cheat, other than Jerry, who you just now talked to.
Yeah, so he doesn't count. So I don't really know. Like, it's gonna be terrible if somebody sees this. If one of my friends
the most
sees it,
famous.
has
One of the most
fun.
famous.
Hey, what's that?
One of the most famous. You don't hurt any feelings.
Yeah, one of the.
Yeah.
Just go with the A's.
Friends with Bruce Kulick. He's in the band Kiss.
Wow. She's laughing because my name Paul Stanley. I get teased.
And I've met Paul, and I thought, well, that's weird. Paul has a podcast. Yeah, I thought, yeah, it was a moment of like, what is happening right now? Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, he has more of my name than I ever will. So that's not. And it's not even his name.
I know,
He
you keep
stole
saying he
it.
stole his name because that's not his
First name Stanley.
Oh, funny. That's hilarious.
That's-
Oh, wait, I forgot to mention my books. I have. Oh my God, I have a book coming out.
All right, let's hear it.
Called a Quantum Love Adventure, Speaking Volumes Publishing. Quantum Love Adventure is like a rom-com adventure about parallel lives. It's a lot of fun. It was a screenplay first that I made into a novel, and that will be available soon. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere where you get books.
Great.
Yeah, man, you have been busy.
And next year, I have my first young adult novel will be coming out under the same publisher. That book is called A Girl in the Whirl.
Wow.
How fun.
How
So-
do you have time to sleep? I mean,
Yeah.
do you sleep at
I
all?
was thinking the same thing.
Sleeping is very important.
I
I do.
The flight to Italy.
I love, there you go. No, I love sleeping. It's very important. Yeah, and you know what? It's not like I don't sometimes feel overwhelmed, because that would be a lie. Sometimes I overwhelm myself because I'm like, I want to do this and I want to do that. When I've done a lot of abstract paintings and mixed media work. Some of it is you'll see in my shop. And when I was doing a lot of that, something about doing that kind of made me crazy because I thought everything I saw out in the world, I thought should be in a painting. And I couldn't sleep because I was like kind of hung up on like, everything is art, everything is art. I made myself a little nuts. When I'm writing a script, sometimes I don't sleep because their characters are talking to me when I sleep. So yeah, there are moments where it's a bit much. I meditate and I do yoga every day. Without that, honestly, I'd be nutty.
Well, that's good.
Nuttier.
That is
So
fascinating.
physical activity definitely helps calm the brain, huh?
Yeah. Well, next time we love Italy. Next time you guys go to Italy, let me know because I want to sit next to you on a plane. You would just be so entertaining. That entire flight would go by like that. She'd be like, Paul, I'm trying to sleep. Like, tell me more stories.
Sketching you.
Yeah, that's
What
right.
you would be doing.
Oh, you've been a
That's been
delight.
great. I
This
know,
has been
right.
so much fun.
Is there anything else that you want us to know as before?
Oh, yeah. If people want to follow me on Twitter, they could go at Annie Wood. On Instagram, I'm at Annie Wood World. And if you go to anniewood.com, you can click the sign up button and you can sign up for my newsletter podcast-ish. I read some of my stories out loud. I keep everything very short, and I send it every couple weeks, maybe once a month. And I also let people know when I have an art show, which I do have a solo art show coming up in February about trailblazing women called Pardon Me While I Blaze Some Trails.
I just love these names.
I do
that you come
too.
up with.
I love making titles. That's like, I love making titles. So that's in February. So if people are in LA, that happens in Santa Monica at Mainstay Gallery. But if you sign up for my newsletter at anniewood.com, you'll know everything.
Wonderful. And there is a lot to know about you.
Oh my
So
gosh.
this has been so much fun. Thank you. We can't thank you enough for taking your time to tell us all this stuff. This has been a blast.
Oh my gosh, I have to catch my breath after that one.
I know, yeah. You and Annie were pretty hilarious.
She's fun. Her improv is great.
Well, yours was too. I was really surprised.
Thank you. I'm surprised.
I know.
I was bringing my A game and I couldn't keep up with her.
She's very quick-witted.
She
sure.
is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And so much fun though. So sweet energy.
Yes, and she had great stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how, like, she just does it all.
Yeah.
Does it all. And she's got a fantastic memory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I think she's missing her calling though. I think she needs to do PR and marketing. Her titles are incredible.
Yes.
If I came up with a new product, I would like send it to her and say, hey, just come up with the title. And it would be awesome.
And she didn't even have to think about it.
No.
I mean, she was just like whipping them out.
Yeah.
Just quickly.
Oh,
It's
she's so
crazy.
much fun.
But she couldn't think of that word that you said that she was trying to.
Yeah.
Started with an F.
It started with the letter F and she kept it clean, so I knew what it was. Formality. Oh my gosh, so I really do hope you check out her website and
Yes.
follow her because she's constantly doing different things.
Her Etsy and everything. I mean, it's got amazing things.
Yeah, I mean, just a huge,
And then
huge
her
talent.
book coming out.
Yeah.
And that other cute little art book. I don't know if it's out. Did she say it's out? I don't think so.
No,
I don't
it's just
think
now
so, not
coming
yet.
out.
Yeah.
She's
so
finishing
she gave
it.
us a little preview of it,
Yeah.
which was really
That was
it
kind of
really
fun.
awesome.
Yeah, sneak preview. But
And her dog was cute.
oh, I like Chauncey. Yeah, so go to her Etsy page. The talent is just incredible though, because the artwork really is good. You would know it came from an entertainer,
Yeah.
you know, so to speak. But she just does so much stuff. Fascinating, really fascinating. But I enjoyed having her on.
I did too. The Punky Brewster thing kind of like, I was
Yeah.
kind of waiting for her to tell us what, and I was kind of shocked whenever she said Punky Brewster walked in the door.
I know, and she got punked by Punky.
I know, and Jerry Seinfeld, good Lord.
He's just taking everything from her.
He has, I don't know, I felt like they live on the same street or something.
Maybe.
You know, I don't know, like he's got a tracking device or something.
And I'm a huge Seinfeld fan.
Yes.
And I actually had a chance to see him. I don't think I told you this. I saw him one time in Las Vegas at a slot machine. And I'm sure that Annie was probably getting ready to put her quarter in and Jerry just took it away from her.
I'm sure.
So Annie Wood, thank you for being on our show.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. It was, again, I got to catch my breath. She does so much.
I know. It was a wild ride, like you were right.
It was, but it was worth it. It was worth it. And I hope you guys join us next week with a brand new guest on My Big Break Almost. See you then.